All right, let's talk about doors. A door is a portal in a wall, right? It's comprised of the door, the frame, and the anchorage. Outside, your perimeter doors, hollow core steel or steel clad, should open outward. Why outward?
Safety.
Oh, safety's good. Okay, all right, yes, I'll grant you that as well. What else?
Human safety is what I meant.
Yeah, no, yeah, oh, yeah. So that doesn't come in and hit you?
No, so you can get out of the building in case of fire.
Okay, in case of fire, you've got the push bar and you can swing out. Why else?
Horrible idea. Puts the hinges on the outside, right?
Not necessarily. You can bury the hinges inside the door.
I guess. I mean, I don't like it.
Okay. But
So you can't push the door in?
can't kick it in.
Kick it in.
Can't kick it in. You've got the frame there resisting it, right? Good. Interior doors. Make sure the hinges, again, are on the inside or flush. You can have them inside the frame. And closing devices. What do we mean by a closing device? That really annoying hydraulic thing that swings it back after it's been opened. Door locks. Different types of locks, different technologies. Big one, interesting one now. Why do you have people badge out? Why do you have people badge out of locks?
So people can't tailgate?
I
mean, they can get in. But
that's good. We want to prevent that piggybacking. We want to prevent tailgating. But badging out does something else for us as well.
Lets us know where they're at.
Yeah, lets us know how long they had access to that system. And if we're combining that with our logical access controls, and we know that there's been a modification during a given time, and they had already left during that time, that helps us reduce the number of suspects, right? Good. The turnstiles and man traps are going to help with the piggybacking and tailgating. Different types of locks. All sorts of different type of locks. They all have their own traits and aspects to them. Anyone ever work in an environment with a cipher lock? There's a couple different kinds. There's the one that's actually fixed.
Like a simplex lock?
Yeah, there's one to fix the doorknob where you have to press one of the 5 buttons.
Yeah.
Work
My
with
old
those.
house had only those.
Really?
Yeah.
There's also a wheel style one I've seen on the residential one with the black buttons. Yeah. There's also one that I remember in the military, which I think is a little bit more secure, is it's in a dish. It's actually in a tray off to the side. And you have to reach into it, and it's got dip switches, and you have to flip the switches. Why do that? Why have it there instead of on the door?
No one can see.
No one can see. When you're reaching in, they don't see which buttons you're pushing. Also, what do you have to do with cipher locks on a fairly regular basis?
Change the pass.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to wear down just those 4 buttons, right? Yeah. Good. And then there's all sorts of high-tech keys as well. Who's got a car that has a chip in the starter key? Yeah. How much does it cost to replace one of those?
Let's not talk about it.
You know what? I'll be honest here. In terms of security, steal my car. Don't charge me $50 to $75 to replace a stupid key. I got to go to the dealer. It's going to take a week to order it. No, thank you. That sounds much more like a subsidy to the manufacturer than it does an actual security component of the system, doesn't it? Yeah. InstaKey. InstaKey is more useful in areas where you have a bunch of keys. You can rekey everything with a master in a much faster time frame in case of key loss or firing with cause or something like that, where you've lost keys to somebody that you don't want coming back again. Safes. You want to use a safe that's rated at TL15. Has all of these aspects related to it. This is the standard. This is the standard for due diligence, providing secure safekeeping. Vaults. UL offers you other standards to help you decide what it is that you might want to use. What are we talking about in terms of time here?
Delay.
Delay of what?
Entry.
Yes. How long would it take to break into one of these things, even given the right tools? A container. Class 6 container, who's GSA? Who are they?
General Services Administration.
Good. It's the federal government's accounting arm or office supply arm, right? Their rating is 30 minutes against covert entry, 20 hours against surreptitious entry with no forced entry. What are they trying to do here? They're combining two concepts of the physical security. One of them's the delay, the other is detect. Detect. Is a wall a good way, is an interior wall a good way of keeping somebody out of a room, a data center, wherever? No, why not? Why not, Andy?
They're usually not protected the same like an exterior wall is.
Can you go through this wall in short order? Just you, yourself? Probably. Probably. Many walls are just drywall. You can do it with a box cutter, right? If not, you can definitely do it with a sledgehammer in a short order of time, right? So what does the wall really do for us? What is a wall really doing?
Keeping honest people out?
Yeah. Yes. And what does it afford us?
Peace
Detection. Detection. We can see you walking around with a sledgehammer. We can hear you breaking into a wall. More importantly, after you've accessed that area, we know you went into it. We know there's been a breach. So that's really detection capability. Same thing here with these containers. You can get into it fast if you leave evidence behind. It takes a lot longer to break it and not leave evidence behind. Key control. From the day you purchase the mechanism, from the day you create the key, it has to be controlled. Simply put, the minute you lose track of your chain of custody, you've lost track of the key, and you don't know where it might have gone at that point. You need to have a system to track all this. Who's got what keys? Most systems allow use of a master key so you don't have to re-drill and re-key everything every time you lose a single key. That's why the InstaKey is such a boon. The risk of that, though, is, of course, what? You have a master key. Somebody has access to the key that accesses everything, right? Who do we usually give those to?
Security guards.
Security guards. Are they the most trustworthy people? Who else do we give them to? I love this one.
Admins, secretaries.
Who said?
Janitors.
Janitors. Janitors. We give it to the cleaning crew. Why?
So they can clean everything.
So they can clean everything. They have a need to get into all of the spaces, right? Who are the least paid people in your organization?
Security guards and janitors.
The security guards and the janitors. Who are the most easy to subvert? The security guards and the janitors, right? And we don't want to give them a full key ring to go around to each and every space. What do we often do? Jay?
I'm just laughing here thinking, so to be safe in our environment, we don't let the cleaning crew have the master key. They have to be escorted by the guards.
All right. Again, policy. Make sure you have that system in place. Make sure you put somebody in charge of it. Assign the responsibility. It's not going to get done unless somebody is tasked with it. The keys are the property of the organization, not the possessor. And often, I don't think I have my keys on me, but I've got a P.O. box. What does it say on the post office key? Stamped right on there in the middle.
Do not duplicate.
Do not duplicate. Property of the United States government, right? The only way I can get a replacement key is go back to the post office and say, sorry, I lost the key, right?
Although, what do they now have in most Home Depots and Lowe's? Self-service key duplicators.
Yeah. Just saw one of it. Yep.
That's cool. That's really cool.
No longer do you have to file it by hand.
Oh. Well, I know what I'm doing when I get home. Thank you very much. Yeah.
They usually have a different master that they don't provide to those sort of, like the master key that you would cut.
The stamp,
from
the actual stamp, yeah.
Is not provided to a Home Depot. There are only certain places that actually even have the masters.
You only need the top part of the key.
Yeah, I could really just get a piece of metal, couldn't I?
Yeah.
If it's a self-service key cutter. Yeah. And honestly, okay, homeowners, again, when you bought your house, Did you hire a locksmith to come out and rekey it? Did you
Yes.
do that? I did that.
Do you really think those locks take that long to get into?
Who showed up? What'd the locksmith look like?
A robber?
Yeah, I mean, the guy, I hate to say this, he looked like he came out of central casting of the movie of the guy who's going to break into my house, right? I mean, and how quick did it take him to pick through a lock? Seconds. I mean, he showed me. He strokes them, teases them, and it's open, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, made me feel real good.
You should do that before you move and he sees what's in your house.
See, that's tempt him otherwise, right? Treat him real well. Here, have some muffins, have some lemonade. Thanks for.
Just learn how to rekey a lock yourself.
That would be good, but it'd be cost prohibitive. How often am I going to be doing it, honestly? He's got the van with the grinding wheel and all that stuff. I don't really want to be in that business, you know?
Besides, defense and layers. I'm sure you have a security system in your house. You have the key locks. You have a dog.
I have the dog. The dog is the big one. The dog is the biggest one. He's the most important. Why? What is he going to provide for me? Deterrent. First things first.
That's all my dog's got.
Ask any prisoner in any jail. They'll all say if there's any evidence of a dog of any size, they're not going to go in. They're not going to go in. Just because the risk is there. They don't want to find out if it's a nice dog. They don't want to find out if it's a large dog. They just don't care. Second thing is, what are they giving besides deterrence? Detection. My dog's a pussy cat. I mean, my dog ain't going to hurt anybody. But he's going to let me know there's someone at the door. Hey, guys, there's someone here. There's someone here. He'll just be happy about it. But I'll know. Yeah. Good. Yes, defense in depth. Absolutely. I'm not going to rely on those locks. And realistically, if you want to get into a house, what's a real easy way to go in?
Window.
The window. Put the duct tape on it, smash it, step in. Yeah. A lot easier than going through the door. And only the required personnel should have the keys, such as your cleaning crew, right? Okay. Biometrics, another form of access control. We talked about these to some extent. Let's drill down a bit on them. When we talk again about false rejection and acceptance, what are we talking about? False positive, false negative? Are what?
Type 1 and type 2 errors.
Good. What's false positive, Andy?
Keying on something that's not actually false.
Good.
Like saying something that is actually or should pass, saying it doesn't.
No. The other way around.
Other way around?
Other way around. False positive is alarming when there's no threat.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
False negative would be, again, the other way around. Not allowing somebody who should be admitted. We see a lot of false negatives, don't we, in biometrics? For some reason, my thumbprint it won't show up on that reader thing. I remember when IBM first had that slot one built into the laptop. You had to go like this over and over again. You know, just would not open for me. Fingerprint, good or bad? Can be good, can be bad. Anyone work with their hands? I know Dan's building a robot. Anyone work around the house with their hands? You ever scuff your hand? You ever scar? You ever have to put a Band-Aid on it? It can change your fingerprints. It really can. It's a pain in the neck. Facial imagery, again, I don't think we've hit algorithms quite yet that are sufficient to avoid both false rejection and false acceptance. Our faces change a little bit too much. Anyone ever get a real big zit that just changes the complexion of your face? I mean, it's tough, and the machines just aren't yet there. Hand geometry. Hand geometry. What are we talking about there? We're talking about the palm scanner? No. What are we talking about?
Shapes.
The shape, the difference of the distance between your fingertips and the center. That's supposed to be very secure. That's actually supposed to be as good as fingerprints and offers a lot fewer false positives. A lot fewer false negatives. Voice recognition. In the movies, what do they always do to defeat this? It was in an episode of Archer, I think.
Record the voice.
Just
use a
record the
cell
voice.
phone.
Yeah, just use the cell phone.
It's a classic misdirection.
Yeah. Iris pattern. What's the iris? We're taking flowers? You have to wear a boutonniere?
You should.
Because it's stylish. What's the iris? In your eye, yes, good. And what is it we're looking at on the iris?
The pattern of
The color pattern, yeah. Good. And retinal scanning. What are we looking at on your retina?
blood
vessels.
Blood vessels. And again, that's like the vascular patterns. It's your blood vessels. Good. Signature dynamics. Anyone worked in an organization where they use either signature or keystroke? These are behavioral biometrics. Anyone ever work in an organization like that? No, me neither. I have not seen any like that. I think it's been in movies, but no, it's not in real. But that's somebody wants to go the way to. You have to sign in literally to the system each time, or type in, because we all have a different fist. Like telegraph operators used to be able to know who was on the other end of the line just by the way they would transmit Morse code. Even though Morse code is a standard protocol, the way you would do it was like a voice. You'd be able to see who was different. I'm concerned on these with fraud, with being able to counterfeit it. I've seen people who are way too good at forging signatures and things like that. Usually 13-year-old girls, really, really good at forging signatures. Luckily, they're dumb. You'd get that whole welcome back, Cotter, signed Epstein's mother, right? Yeah. Good.